You're listening to KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine.
The opinions and views expressed in this program do not reflect those of KUCI, its management, or the UC Board of Regents. To find out more about this talk show or other talk shows broadcasting on KUCI, log on to our website at kuci.org or check out the latest program guide.
This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at East West Players for their presentation of Yohin.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Danny Glover.
So if my viewers decide to come by and see this show, what should they expect to see?
Well, I think they're going to expect to see a really beautiful play about a relationship that has its own kind of temperature, and that they love each other and they're trying to make something happen in their lives. I think they'll see something very good. And it's a collaboration between Roby, an African-American company, and East West Players. Okay.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Okay, baby. You're welcome.
Yohin will be playing at East West Players from October 26th to November 19th. For more information, go to www.eastwestplayers.org or www.robytheatercompany.com. This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the Los Angeles Theater Center for their presentation of Encuentro de los Americanos.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with...
Hi. I'm Robert Beltran.
First of all, I loved you in Star Trek. I've been following the new Star Trek series. Do you think there's a chance that Commander Chakotay will show up? We'll beam down into it?
That Commander Chakotay will show up what?
In the new Star Trek series.
Oh, hell no.
Okay, with that out of the way. So question, what did you direct tonight?
I directed a play called American Odyssey with Culture Clash.
I love the piece. First of all, I'm amazed at how much of America it is in Latino comedy. I mean, you don't see that in black comedy, you don't see that in Jewish comedy, you don't see it in any other, but there's so much of America in Latino comedy.
Well, there's also Filipino and some Ugandan, and really heavy on the Australian Aborigine. We get a lot of our comedy from there.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
When you come see this piece? Well, you will see a commentary on life today in the United States. And it's funny and it's moving, so, it runs the gamut of emotions.
Yeah. That's true. First of all, it was hilarious. I thought the guys were funny. I thought they were extremely talented too. It was very theatrical too.
Yeah.
Very dark sometimes, and also it talked about some pretty depressing topics about drugs, about racism, about immigration. So again, it did. Like, I agree with you. It did cover a lot of the topics.
Yeah. And they've been together for over 30 years. So they work really well together, and they write well together. They write their own stuff. So it was a real honor to work with them. Real privilege.
Once again, I love the piece. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was funny. And again, you go to a comedy, if it's funny, it's fantastic. Okay.
When you go to a comedy, you want it to be funny. That's true.
Once again, I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
Encuentro de los Americanos will be playing at the Los Angeles Theater Center from November 2nd through November 19th. For more information, go to www.thelatc.org. This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at LA Theater Works.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Susan Lowenberg.
Great. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I am the producing director of LA Theater Works. We are a 40-year-old plus organization here in Los Angeles, and our mission is to record the greatest plays in the American and world canons, and that includes classic works by people such as Arthur Miller or David Mamet or Shakespeare or Shaw, and also exciting contemporary work.
I'm very impressed by your organization here. You have a great list of
outstanding theater actors actually perform here.
We do, and interestingly enough, when we started this project about 30 years ago, about 10 years into the life of the organization, we were actually approached by a group of 35 very famous actors, including John Lithgow, Edward Asner, Marsha Mason, Jo Beth Williams, Helen Hunt, Julie Harris, who of course has great actress who's since passed on, Ed Begley Jr., Hector Elizondo, etc. And they said they wanted to work with us, and they were people who were here, who were famous because of film and television, but they were theater people. And so over a series of encounters and over a number of years, we all came to the conclusion that the best use of everybody's talent and time would be to record great plays and have them do that. And I have to say, it's very exciting. Most of the people that I just mentioned to you are still recording with us.
So do you consider this a theater company or a radio broadcasting company?
That is a very interesting question. No, I don't consider ourselves a theater company. I consider us a media company whose brief is to record great theater.
I hear you guys have an excellent program coming up.
Yes, Between Riverside and Crazy, which is a Pulitzer Prize-winning play from 2014, written by someone that I consider one of the absolutely best of the contemporary playwrights writing in America today, Stephen Adly Guirgis. And Between Riverside and Crazy was a big hit in New York. It was on Broadway, as I said, it won the Pulitzer. And so we're very pleased to be recording it. This will be the fourth Stephen Adly Guirgis play we've recorded. One of the outstanding ones, they were all great, but one of the ones, of course, that is unforgettable is a play called The Mother Effer with the Hat, starring Chris Rock and Bobby Cannavale. And both Chris and Bobby and the rest of the original Broadway cast came out to Los Angeles and recorded it from us. So this is number 4 in Stephen Adly Guirgis's repertoire of wonderful plays. And it's a charming and funny and passionate and really kind of gripping play about a man, an older guy, an ex-cop, who is desperately trying to hang on to his rent-controlled apartment in New York City. And if you know anything about rent control in New York City, that's a pretty precious thing, to have an amazing apartment on Riverside Drive in New York. His landlord's trying to get him out. He's also being pressured not to follow through on a lawsuit with the city when he was shot accidentally by another policeman when he was off duty, but a policeman serving in the force. So he's got two things going, and he's surrounded by an assortment of his ex-con's son, the girlfriend, who's a charming, lovely person, but pretty ditzy, and a couple of other assorted friends. So they're all kind of moving around him, and he is under a tremendous amount of pressure to be a good father, he's kind of a father to all these people, and to pursue his interests, and to never give up, and to kind of live his life. I mean, he's an older guy, just lost his wife, and so all of these things are swirling around inside this wonderful play that is, as I said, it's heart-stopping and it's heartwarming.
Could you tell me a bit about the cast?
Yes, we have a great cast. John Cothrane, very old friend of mine. In fact, his wife, Judy Ann Elder, and I have been friends since, oh my God, for so many years, I cannot tell you, probably 40 years, when she directed for me when we were working in prisons. And John is a terrific actor. He plays Pops. He just wrapped season 3 of The Last Ship, where he played the president. And before that, he was a series regular on Murder in the First. He's done a ton of Broadway. He was in that wonderful August Wilson play on Broadway called Two Trains Running. We have Seamus Dever, a young guy, best known for his running role on Castle, playing Detective Kevin Ryan. We have Anna Ortiz. She plays Lulu, and she recently starred in Devious Maids for Mark Cherry and Lifetime, and she was recently featured opposite Viola Davis on a new series, How to Get Away with Murder. She's a terrific, terrific young actress. And Elisa Bocanegra, who just has done a lot of work in New York and in California. She starred with Olivia Dukakis at the Roundabout Theater Company in New York in The Milk Train Doesn't Stop Here Anymore. She does tons of television, Easy to Assemble. She did a Sundance winner called Girl Fight and Spun, Undeclared, Gilmore Girls. So it's a great cast. It's a diverse cast. A lot of just really terrific and exciting young actors and older actors.
Well, I can't wait to see it. As for LA Theater Works, I've always been impressed by your work, by the quality, and also your dedication towards radio. Because they say that radio may be a lost art, but actually it's the second most popular used media out there. It's actually still well established, and the quality is still outstanding.
Oh, definitely. And the great thing about radio is anywhere, anytime you can listen. And now that we've got all these new technologies, of course, it's really at your fingertips. We also podcast. We're on about 60 or 70 public radio stations throughout the United States once a week with our weekly radio show, LA Theater Works. But, you can go on our website, latw.org, and you can listen to a play anytime. We've always got a play running online. We're also, interestingly enough, on the air in China. Our program is broadcast every day in China. They do Act 1 on a Monday, Act 2 on a Tuesday, and a new play on Wednesday. So we've been running in China for about 6 years. I would say most of our listeners are 40 and under. And I really feel that we are making an impact because we're really introducing people. When you listen to these plays, you learn about the culture of a country. In addition to, hearing exciting stories, you really learn about what this place is about, that these stories are emanating from. So I feel that what we're doing has many, many implications. They help people understand, good plays help people understand the world, how they feel about it, where they stand on certain issues. It really makes you think and makes you, I think, more reflective. And it makes you, I think, respectful of how to parse information. I think in this present environment where there's so much fake news, people have to learn how to be more discerning. And plays help you do that. They help you sort it out.
Well, I can't wait to see the piece. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. I can't wait to hear it.
Between Riverside and Crazy, we'll be playing at James Bridge Theater at UCLA from November 16th to November 19th. For more information, go to www.latw.org. This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Antaeus Theater for their presentation of Les Liaisons Dangereuses.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. Now I'm here with
Elise Murto. Let's see, well, I've met you a couple times. You interviewed me after Figaro at A Noise Within and The Guardsman, and last year I was doing Barbecue at the Geffen. I can't remember if we met then, and now here I am as the Marquise de Merteuil in Les Liaisons Dangereuses at the Antaeus Theater Company. The Marquise, I think she's a little bit of a superhero. I know everyone thinks she's evil, but at a time when women had absolutely no choice, she found a way to make some choices, and she can be a little ruthless and a little cruel, but ultimately she is a person who's trying to be a trailblazer for women.
There's a lot going on about women in Hollywood being abused and all that. Is this kind of a solution?
I mean, everyone would like to get what they want. I just think everyone should be treated with respect, male or female, and I think if we all treated each other with respect and took a step back and realized that we're all human, no matter if we have something dangling between our legs or not, and we could start there, there has been a long history of Hollywood and misogyny, and hopefully it's changing. But it's not necessarily the women's job to change it. I think it's also a job of all of the wonderful good men in this city to also say, we're not taking that anymore. Don't treat our wives, our daughters, our mothers, our aunts, our sisters like this. And they need to speak up as well. So.
Another question struck me. Is there really such a thing as love? Does it not exist? Or is it all just a game?
I'm not a philosopher, but I do believe love exists. I have it in my life. I feel very lucky. I think in this play, I don't know if the Marquise is entirely capable of love. I think she's more concerned about forwarding herself in this present time and one-upping men. I mean, she does say, I was born to dominate your sex and avenge my own, is what she tells the Belmont. And she also says, win or die. So that's more important than love for her. But in the real world, there is indeed love.
I love your character. I'm a big fan of anti-heroes. I think you were beautifully, you played it beautifully. Even when you were telling people you loved them, I was thinking, is she telling the truth? Is she lying? Is she just playing us? What's with this? So I just love the way you played that.
Thank you. She is a manipulator, definitely.
Once again, I really love the play. I loved your character. I love the way you performed it. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. We'll tell everyone else. Dangerous Liaisons, or Les Liaisons Dangereuses, plays until December 10th at the Antaeus Theater Company in Glendale.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Scott Ferrara. I am an actor who is having a blast doing Valmont and Antaeus' production of Les Liaisons Dangereuses. I have been doing classical plays all of my life, and I am overjoyed to be a part of this extraordinary company.
Which character do you play again?
Valmont. He's a darker man who has run out of ways to find pleasure in the world, and so he is finding new ways to excite himself and delight himself. And the next victim, I guess you could say, is a pious, honest, pure woman that he wants to essentially not only tear down, but in a new way. He wants actually to replace essentially her God with himself. So it's a whole new way of tearing down another person, which was commonplace during this time. So it's exciting to play someone who is who uses all tricks that he has in his pockets in order to bring joy and pleasure to himself.
Your character was obviously an anti-hero, but basically it kind of brought this question to my mind. Is there such a thing as love, or is it all just a game?
I think for Valmont it starts out as a game, and I think as the play moves forward, that game becomes, at least for him, something very real and something very new. That is something that he can't control anymore. And I think for some, the game is the control. The game is watching the twists and turns. The game is the manipulation. And the purity of love, the innocence of love, the first step that when you speak the words which Torvald says to him, almost in the most purest, honest way, I love you so much. It's almost too overwhelming. It's almost too much for someone who sees everything as corrupting and stripping away. I think there's an ebb and flow of those two things that are happening, at least with him and in this world, and in our world as well. And I think it's what we struggle with most. It's why when we see Romeo and Juliet, some of us, depending on where we are, get very we feel very cynical about it, and then at certain times we fully go into it. And I think there's a simplicity and purity of Torvald's character that is purely magnetic for Valmont.
I love the way you played, because you were so charismatic, but you were also very, very dark. But in a sense, I also felt you being transcendent. There were certain things that you couldn't control, certain things that were greater than you. For a person like that, that's actually very amazing.
Well, I thank you, because that was a lot of things that you described are things that we, the director, the other actors as well, wanted to accomplish. Is that struggle and that there is certain forces that are beyond our control, and we wanted to explore those extremes of the charismatic joy, but also really not shy away from the darker elements of him. And I have a tendency to want to go into those darker places. So it was lovely to really allow that to kind of breathe, and especially with the times as they are, with a lot of the harassments that are coming out. Robin did a masterful job of highlighting the effect of what these traumas do to these women in the society, and I was happy to go on board, even though I may have lost some laughs along the way. I thought, for me, I wanted to really go to the brutality of this and not shy away from it. So I'm glad that read across the lights.
Interesting. Once again, I loved your performance. Thank you. You were just captivating. Thank you. You in a sense, also for classical theater, sometimes the drone's on, you never droned on. Every single syllable kind of brought meaning to it.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. That has a great deal to do with the cast and the director and the extraordinary script. And it's really a wonderful mix of everyone, and I'm just so thankful that you had an enjoyable night. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Lisa Seneca. I'm a proud company member here at Antias. It's my second show with the company and my first show in this new space.
Great. And which character did you play?
Madame de Tourvel. Boy, she is a woman who really believes in what's right. She believes in her marriage. She believes in God, and everything she knows is tested in such a huge way. And despite herself, she falls head over heels in love and is completely decimated in the end by this man that she has let herself fall for.
If my viewers decide to come by and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
A show that has, I really think, something for everybody. It is, it's smart, it's witty, it's sexy, it's tragic, and I think incredibly relevant. It really speaks to people in power and what they kind of think that they are above, and particularly at the moment with this whole Harvey Weinstein ordeal and everything that's come out about him and various men in power, that this man, this basically sexual predator, and what he gets away with, and in the end that probably as an audience you'll probably root for him in some way, and I hope that sparks interesting conversations on the way home. I'm thankful for a company like Antias that really, because we're in a film and TV town, but this company really celebrates the importance of doing classic work and of really, there's a difference in sustaining a 3-hour show versus, doing a 30-second scene. You have to have a different muscle, and I'm grateful for this place for offering that to actors.
Yeah, I love anti-heroes. I'm just a big fan of it because I think they're so complex. They have extremes, ups and downs, rights and lefts, goods and bads. But actually, I think it's very necessary to have characters like yours too, who are kind of like an anchor point where you kind of know, where's ground zero. So I think your character is very important. I really like the way you played it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I agree. I mean, you can't see. I don't think the anti-hero is as clear without the balance, without the counterpoint. So I appreciate that comment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once again, I really love the performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Paul Koulos, and I played Danceny in Les Liaisons Dangereuses at Antias. He's all heart, and he's young and in love and eager to pursue his love, and he's easily manipulated because he expects the best of everybody. And throughout the course of the play, he grows so much when he's deceived and later finds out that the man he's trusted this entire time has double-crossed him, and he has to grow up very quickly in a matter of months in the show. It was an incredible journey, and Robin Larson held my hand the entire time, and this cast was a dream to work with.
So, question. This struck my mind. Is there really such a thing as love, or is it all just some kind of game?
That's a really good point. I think this play posits that it is a bit of a game, but I think for Danceny, that is part of the journey. He comes into it so naive and so willing to believe in this iconic form of love, and at the end, I believe he rejects all of it to pursue a more monastic religious lifestyle in Malta, where they say he goes off to Malta because he doesn't want to get tied up in those feelings anymore and tied up in that negative energy because of what happened with him in Valmont and Cecile and Merteuil. So I would say that he's certainly disillusioned by his first impressions of it, and I don't know that there's any going back. I mean, he killed a man because of it, and at the same time, I think it's tainted forever.
Yeah, I liked your character. He was very heroic. I mean, he was very innocent. He expressed a different type of love, where love really exists. If you just believe in it, all you have to do is just believe in it, stand for it, and then it exists.
Well, I think also part of this show is that this upper class society has this tainted view of love, and yet Danceny is not. He's part of the noble class, but he's also not part of that upper crust. He talks in the play about being lower class or not having as much money per se, and so I don't even think any of that affects him. I think what it's really about is this connection he has with this beautiful young woman who they share this connection when they play music together, and unfortunately both of them are manipulated on both sides, me by Merteuil, Cecile by Valmont, and because of that we can't go back to what that innocence was. We've basically had that stolen from us over the course of the show, and I think there's a lot of grief and conflict and who are we now that we've made these decisions? Who are we now that we've been exposed to this lifestyle? I think they could have been together if Valanche had allowed her daughter to be with me. I think it would have been happily ever after. I think that possibility does exist, but I think you're right. Danceny does leave the play thinking that love is not real and it can't happen for him.
I really love the play. It might have been a little sad, but again, and actually, it's something I really can't recommend for children because there's a lot of really adult themes there, which again I really liked about it.
Yeah. I mean, it has some definitely more adult toned jokes, and certainly some of the action that happens in the play is probably not for kids under 13, but I think it's important for people to see a play like this because it does deal with important themes of sexual exploit, which are prevalent in our society now, and that we need to bring to the forefront of our consciousness so we can all talk about them. I hope this play brings about conversation for people to go, we laughed at that in this show, but how do we see that today? How are gestures like this made today and accepted, or how can we take action against them? Because in this play, I hope that people walk away and go, this is just disgusting and despicable. We shouldn't live this way, despite the comedic twist that is layered in there. When I read the play for the first time, I thought to myself, I hate Valmont. I hate that scene with me and him, because I was like, I don't want to like you at the end because you repented. You were a terrible man, and you made and you showed no signs of forgiveness. And yet in this play, we see a lot of the sides of it, but I still think that people should go away going, this guy was not a good man. Even though you're compelled to like him, his actions speak so much louder than his words. So,
Thank you very much for being on the show.
my pleasure. Thanks so much.
Les Liaisons Dangereuses will be playing at Antaeus Theater from October 19th to December 10th. For more information, go to www.antaeus.org.